Okay, quick thing before we start the show. Big changes are happening all around us. Are you ready? In my new book, SUPERSHIFTS, we uncovered the massive transformations reshaping how we live, work, and think in the age of intelligence. From AI to the future of work, this book is your guide to navigating what's next. Get your copy of SUPERSHIFTS today, available wherever books are sold, because the future isn't coming. It's already here. Okay, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome back to Foundations in Foresight, a Think Forward series. I'm Steve Fisher, and in this episode and today, we're going to talk about something that confuses a lot of people when they first hear about foresight. What's the difference between foresight and prediction?
It's easy to assume that futurists are just high-tech fortune tellers making bold predictions about what's coming next. But here's the truth. Foresight isn't about predicting the future. In fact, most predictions fail. And that's actually a good thing. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why prediction is unreliable, why foresight works differently, and how shifting your mindset away from predicting the future and toward exploring multiple possibilities can make you better prepared for what's ahead.
Let's start with a simple question. Why do most predictions fail? The answer is actually pretty straightforward. The world is complex. Change doesn't happen in a straight line, and the further out you try to predict, the more variables come into play. Think about all the wild predictions people made about the year 2000. By now, we were supposed to have flying cars, robot butlers, and cities on the moon. Some of those ideas might still happen, but not on the timeline people expected. Now, sometimes people do get things right, like how smartphones and the internet reshaped our daily lives. But those weren't really predictions. They were the result of foresight, spotting early signals of change, identifying long-term trends, and considering different ways they could evolve.
That's the big difference. Prediction assumes one certain future. Foresight explores multiple possible futures. Let's break that down. When you predict something, you're saying, this is what will happen. But when you use foresight, you're asking, what are the different ways this could play out? Here's an example. Let's say someone predicts that artificial intelligence will replace all human jobs in the next 10 years. That's a bold claim, but it assumes a single future. A foresight approach would take a different angle. Instead of making a single prediction, you'd explore multiple possibilities. Maybe AI will eliminate some jobs, but it might also create entirely new industries. Maybe human work will shift toward collaboration with AI rather than full automation. Or maybe regulation will slow down AI adoption, leading to a completely different outcome. Foresight isn't about locking into one future. It's about preparing for multiple possibilities. It helps us make sense of uncertainty, recognize opportunities, and build flexible strategies instead of relying on shaky predictions.
So here's something to think about. What's one prediction about the future that you've heard recently? It could be about technology, climate change, politics, or even your own industry. Instead of just accepting it, ask yourself, what other possibilities exist?
Try looking at it through a foresight lens. Could there be alternative futures that aren't being considered? Could something unexpected change the outcome? The more you practice thinking this way, the more prepared you'll be, no matter what happens. That's it for today's episode of Think Forward Foundations. Now that we've covered the difference between prediction and foresight, it's time to dig deeper into how we actually spot early signs of the future.
If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and make sure to check out the next Foundations episode and other episodes on the show list. And don't forget, you have the power to shape the future. And as always think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the show. Now, about that thing I mentioned earlier about the book SUPERSHIFTS. Imagine having a playbook to navigate what's coming next. That's exactly why I wrote SUPERSHIFTS, to help you understand and prepare for the seismic changes shaping our world. Don't just react. Get ahead. SUPERSHIFTS is available now, wherever you get your books. And if you order today, you'll get exclusive bonus content. Head to supershiftsbook.com and grab your copy now and start future-proofing your life. The future won't wait. Why should you?